So I'm gonna break this video down into a couple things. I'm going to explain the apartment renting process of Manizales. If you're curious about how I got my Medellin apartment, there's a video I'll link in the description and I'll comment it so you guys can watch that one. Pretty much the rules were the same, but it was a little harder in Manizales than here in Medellin because here there's more foreigners here. But yeah, if you want to see that video, it's right there. I'm gonna show you guys some of the apartments that I saw. I think I saw a total of like 10 or 11. So I'm gonna pick through them, see if I can fit all of them. That might be too much. I might just pick like 3 or 4 and I'll show you guys the one that I ended up picking. I was gonna do a separate Q&A video, but a lot of the questions are very similar. So I'm just gonna mix it into this one and just talk about my whole journey leaving Medellin in general. All right, so the first common question that I got was, and so everybody wants to know why I'm leaving. There was a comment in the video that some guy, I don't even think he lives here, but some guy got offended that I called Medellin like LA. After thinking about it, I've actually solidified my stance on that and I'll give you the reasons why. I think the biggest similarities I've seen are the population size, the culture, the chaotic energy of the city, the traffic, the homelessness, and the difficulty to meet people and make friends. Literally, it's like 4 million in each city and you can feel it. As soon as you get into the city, it just feels very like chaotic. I think that contributes a lot to the hypersexualization of everything. Just the energy here is just constant go, go, go. It's popular when you're going to the clubs. That's such a big scene here. Interesting thing, when I was in Manizales, I didn't really feel the need to have sex because everything was a lot more peaceful. But as soon as I got into Medellin, every single day, I just have all this energy and it's like, all right, what do I do? How am I gonna get this out? The chaotic energy of Medellin is something that I realize is not for me because I left LA and when I was there, I already knew I didn't like being in the city. So I came here and for the first year, you know, it was like the graduation goggles are on, everything's rose colored. So, you know, I thought the city was amazing and it's essentially a Latin version of a big city from the United States. Once I've started visiting the other places, I realized that Manizales was a lot more my scene and what I was looking for. People are friendly in Manizales and people are friendly here, but it's friendly in the way where it's like a fake friendly, right? Oh, and the weather is also very similar too. But when you're in LA, you can kind of say the same thing. You can say like, oh, the people nice there are friendly, but it doesn't really feel genuine because you're probably not gonna see them again. And I think this is a product of being in a very big city. There's like an elitist culture here, the most beautiful women in the world, but they don't have a lot of substance. And there's like a hypersexualization of everything and it's very unavoidable. You have the paisa culture here with the Colombians themselves. There's also a lot of foreigners pushing this narrative of the women here. And literally if you just search anything about Colombia, the top hits are, bro, I already know like 20, 30 people doing the same thing, just taking a camera, going through the streets and showing the butts of all the women here. I think that's very harmful to this culture, but you can tell that because the city has this already and all these foreigners are coming, it's just getting worse and worse, I feel. There's also traffic everywhere. There's homeless people literally on every single corner, every block. There's homeless people in Manizales too, but it's definitely not as much. And there's actually this really cool thing. When I was in Manizales, I was eating with my friend Carla. One of the people in the restaurant bought like a whole entire meal for these 2 homeless people that were walking by. It was like a guy and a girl. And I thought that was super sweet. I've never seen that here in Medellin. I've already built a community in Manizales and literally in the 2 weeks, week and a half that I was there, I made more friends there than I made here. And all my friends from Medellin are not from the city. They all have come from other places, which also reminds me of LA, how like nobody there is actually from LA. Everybody's moved there, you know? The biggest thing is that I had to make a choice for myself. I realized being here in the city just, yeah, it's not for me. I need something more peaceful. So that's ultimately why I'm choosing Manizales. But I also wanted to show a different part that's also paisa. It's in Caldas, it's not in Antioquia, but it's still paisa. I wanted to show a different part of the country where you can get a different kind of living style, but still kind of have the prettiness of the paisa women with also the warmness of Colombian culture. And I think Manizales or at least better represents what Colombian values are all about. Do you still plan on staying in Colombia for good or have your plans changed? I want to buy a house here, but I think I want to live in Europe for a little bit too. I kind of want to see Costa Rica as well. But I would say that home base, I definitely want to make my home base here. I feel like I found a home here. Is this serious you're moving or is it just for some time, not permanent? Well, at this point, I don't think I would ever live in Medellin again, to be honest. I think I might buy a property here in the future as like an investment. As far as living, like I can't with city life, bro. I hate living in the city. So my thing has always been, even when I was leaving LA, I wanted to live in a city, but it was smaller. So that's why I looked at Portland or like Denver. But here, I just feel like, yeah, it's too crowded for me. So the second most requested question was about my apartment, like how much was the rent, how did I get it, what was the process, all that stuff. So I think that's a good segue to talk about the apartments. Everybody always asks me for what website to look at when you're looking for apartments, but I never look for websites. I just kind of go around the city and I make as many phone calls as I can. I think when I was looking up apartments in Medellin, I totally forgot what site I was on. I was looking through it and I just started making phone calls to the agencies, and I think that's the best way to do it. I highly recommend working with an agency because trying to work with the owner, most of the people that watch my channel, I assume aren't fluent Spanish speakers, so that's gonna be a really hard time. But two, it's just when you go through an agency, they have systems in place that can allow you to rent easier as a foreigner. I think I've heard like you can rent directly from the owner if you know him, but for most foreigners, they probably don't have the opportunity, so I would just recommend going to an agency. The big problem with Colombian real estate companies in general is that a lot of them require a deudor or like a fiador, so like a co-signer or someone who can take on the debt with you if you don't decide to pay. So you have to find a agency that works with you on this. I can give you the phone number of the Manizales one because she's actually been really helpful with me so far, but the real estate company that I worked with here, honestly, they were trash, they're terrible. So I would not recommend them, even though if you don't have any more options, I can still introduce you to them, but if I'm being honest, I would try to find another one. And I think here in Medellin it's possible because, you know, it's so foreigner friendly. The two methods that I've seen is that you pay a 3-month deposit up front and then you pay monthly until the end of your lease. And the other one is where you pay 6 months up front and then a 2-month deposit, 1 month or 2-month deposit, depending on the amount of rent. To get this apartment, I put up about $3,600, $3,700, and I got the apartment at a time where the dollar was worth like almost 3,800 pesos. So that actually ended up really working out for me. But for this one in Manizales, I put the 3 months rent down first, and then I'm paying monthly. I'm gonna use the deposit from this apartment and have it towards my rent. And then at the end, my contract is until December 31st. The deposit's gonna be used for my last 3 months of rent. I will talk about my personal apartment later, but I want to go through a few of the ones that I saw first. This first one we're going to look at was located in Palermo. This was actually the first one that I saw. The way I was able to see it was I was walking around and I saw a sign with the phone number, so I called the phone number, set up an appointment, and I went to go see it. So the first thing right away I liked about this apartment was I liked the location. I liked the Palermo as a neighborhood a lot. It's very small, reminds me a lot of Laureles. It's very hipster and it's modern, it's very friendly. The thing that I didn't like about it was 2 bedrooms. In the back, there was no view from the window, and for me when I'm creating, I like to have a view of something because it really inspires me. The lighting just kind of fell off. It felt really dark in the back, but not quite in a good way. It felt dark where like, I just wasn't a huge fan of the energy. I thought the kitchen was okay. I thought the living room was alright. It was clean, but like not a 10 clean. It was more like a 6.5, 7 clean, which I probably could have fixed. But when I was in there, I was just like, I don't think this is it. This is probably somewhere I would live if I was in college and living with somebody else. And I think this one, the rent was 1,200,000. Out of a scale of 1 to 10, I'll give this one like a 6.5. Okay, so we're in this first apartment of this complex called Montevera. I liked the size of it. I liked these things on the wall, like the drawers on the wall. But I thought the kitchen was kind of okay. The view, there was a balcony, but I wasn't a fan of this view because it just looks like it had nature and it had this building, but this construction is just such an eyesore and I just don't like all this dirt. I know I'm really picky, but here in Manizales, we are allowed to be picky. The bedrooms were okay. They were a good size. I just personally don't need 3 bedrooms. I only needed 2. That's what I was looking for. If I had a third one, it would probably just collect dust, or I would just put an air mattress in there to when I would have guests over. The feeling in this one was, I didn't care for the location. It was kind of far from everything. And the showers are alright. Scale of 1 to 10, I would give this one like a 6.5 as well. This one, I actually saw a couple in this same building. I just wasn't a huge fan. The same problems that I had with the first one, I have with this one too. It was just a little dirty. The feeling just, I didn't like the feeling. I didn't like the showers. And if I'm gonna be paying, like, I might as well pay another $100 for a better location and everything. So this one I would give like a 5.5, 6. Okay, I want to show you guys this one real quick. So this one was the one I actually like really fell in love with. It had 2 bedrooms. I liked the size of it. I thought it was perfect. The balcony was effing insane. Like, this view was the most beautiful view. It's 50-50. You have city and then you have nature and then you can see some parks, and I just thought it was super gorgeous. I liked the living room. I thought the living room was perfect. I thought the bedroom was a perfect size. The view from the bedroom was great. And this one, like when I saw it, like the showers were super nice. It was clean. I was like, oh dang it, this is the one I want. But they sent me the requirements for it, and I needed a cosigner. There's no way around it, and it was just a pain in the butt. But man, look at this kitchen though. Like I rated this one like it was like a 9.5, 10. It was, when I saw it, I was like, oh man, if I can get this one, this would be perfect. And the price was really good too. It was only $1,400,000, and it was located in Milan, which is a really good neighborhood. But you know, unfortunately, I wasn't able to get this one. Okay, moving on. This one was in a part of town right next to the mall. I actually saw a couple of apartments here. I saw one without a balcony and one with a balcony. So without a balcony, it cost $1,300,000. And then with a balcony, it costs $1,500,000, but the apartments look very similar. I thought it was good. It reminded me of some of the apartments that I saw in Envigado, and this one had 3 bedrooms as well. So, you know, it wasn't a deal breaker for me, but it wasn't quite what I was looking for. There was nothing particularly bad about this one. It's just the location felt a little hectic. I want something to be a little either. If it's gonna be in like next to a mall, I want it to be like in the center location, and this one would have been close to my gym, but it's so far away from everything else that I would have to take a bus to get everywhere, and it would just be a pain in the butt. I thought this view was okay. The grass is really nice, but I don't know. I feel like it's a really dead giveaway to where I live as well, and I don't like people knowing where I live. These ones I would give like a 7.5. You know, I was considering it, but I was still keeping my eyes open. So I want to show one more in Palermo real quick. I want to show you guys the one that I actually picked before I got the one that I actually got. And the first thing that I really liked about it, I liked the location. The energy of the place just reminded me of like a beach city. I thought the view was really good. It was on the first floor, but I kind of liked it. I thought like having this balcony, being able to see people, I probably would have gotten to know my neighbors. The thing that I really liked about it just felt so like chill, you know. The sun was shining in. It reminded me of like when I would visit people or go to like beach properties in the States. That's the kind of vibe that it had. It wasn't super perfect, super modern, but it had charm. I liked that decoration in the kitchen. I thought this office was really nice. It was right next to the street, so I really liked that energy. And I liked these cabinets that were in the hallway. It wasn't super clean, but I liked the character of this apartment, and there was a balcony from my bedroom as well. And I just thought that, you know, this would be cool. It wasn't super quiet like I wanted, but I really liked the vibe. I thought the vibe was like super, yeah, I don't know, the vibe was super chill, super relaxed, and I think I would have had a really good time at this apartment. So out of all the things that I wanted, it kind of surprised me because, you know, it didn't quite check off my list, but I really liked the energy of the place, so I would give this one like an 8.5. All right, let's answer more questions. Are you taking the tan chair? You damn right, dear. Which city has the hottest girls? So I haven't really explored the other big cities of Colombia. You know, I've really just kind of stick to this I really just kind of stick to this area. So I haven't seen like Cartagena. I've heard a lot of good things about there. I haven't visited Chocó. I haven't really got to see Bogota too much either. So it's kind of very hard for me to say, but I would say based on my taste and my time being here in Medellin, I would say Medellin probably has the most beautiful women that I've seen in the world. At least sexy, but it's hard to tell which is real and which is fake because plastic surgery is so common here that I would say based off the people that I've seen in Manizales, most of the girls here, they have gotten plastic surgery. They're still sexy though, so you know, don't get me wrong. What are your tips from moving down from the US to Medellin? I talk about it in my first Q&A, so go and watch that one. Give tips to be rich and make money, advice on making money. Okay, so I hate answering this question because my journey is so different. And when I first came here, I had about 4.5K. But to be honest, when the pandemic hit, I was collecting unemployment for a while. I used to feel really ashamed about that because, you know, everybody's like, oh, you know, the story sounds so much sexier when you do it yourself. But I'm realizing, bro, like I'm trying to survive, I'm trying to be successful, and I'm going to take any gift that I get from God, from the universe to make that happen. For people that, you know, ask me questions like, oh, what's it like getting a job there? What are job opportunities? I can't really answer that because the only real job that I had was an English teacher here, which I did that for like 3 months, I think. But my main sources of income are actually 3 things. Number 1, I produce music. If you guys have found me on Artlist, which some of you have, you'll find all my music there, and that's my biggest form of income. Number 2, YouTube ads, Patreon, and I've gotten a lot of donations and love from my subscribers. Like, I'm very, very thankful because you guys have helped me so much, and I've struggled with finances, but it's really my subscribers and my Patreons that really make a huge help. I actually want to shout out to my Patreons real quick. Jake, Kendrick, man, you guys, you guys have helped me so much. Jin, Sean, and Freddie, I really appreciate you guys. I know how much it is when you're giving money to somebody because you believe in my mission. And I just want to say that my whole entire channel won't be possible without you guys, so thank you. And my third income is from consultations that I do. So a few of my subscribers have hit me up and we've talked about everything from like dating advice, life advice, parental advice, to starting a new life here in Colombia, getting apartments, what are some of the fun things to do here in Medellin. I have a lot of experience on all those things. So if you want a consultation, hit me up on Instagram or an email and we can set that up. But yeah, that's my third form. How am I going to give advice? Because most people that come here aren't gonna be YouTubers or music producers, you know? So that's why I try to avoid this topic. I think there's other people, maybe ask David or some of the other people that have made videos. I think I saw this one guy, he made a video too. You can check it out right here, but I'm probably not the best person to give advice on that. Okay, so now I want to talk about the one that I picked. A very interesting story, so I gotta tell it. I went to this Airbnb and I was only there for like 3 days because I was supposed to leave on Monday, but then I got this place until Wednesday because I didn't quite find my apartment yet. And I was coming up the elevator of the apartment, I ran into the only other Asian guy from Southern California that also speaks English. He was this 60-year-old Asian dude. His life was interesting. He was divorced and he has a family back in the States, but he came here and then now he has a new kid with a Colombian baby mama, but they're living together, but she's also probably like 30 years younger than him. So it's just like, it was an interesting situation. Him and I, we were talking about our journeys and how we got there, and he told me that he was able to get his apartment with this real estate company. So he gave me the number. It was a gift of God, I swear. Keep in mind, this was already after I saw all the other ones. I called the real estate company. They showed me one apartment and that apartment ended up being the one that I picked. I was looking for that way to pay too. I was looking for the 3 months up front and then pay monthly. And with the other companies, I couldn't quite find it, but literally just a crazy luck of the draw, this person that I met in an elevator ended up helping me through this. So shout out to you, bro. You know, good luck with your baby. I really liked it from when I first walked in. It was everything that I wanted. It was 2 bedrooms, it was modern, it was clean. The showers are really nice. It was in a very good location and it had a balcony. I was looking at some other places and you know, it just didn't feel quite right. And there was one apartment that I found that was like perfect, but they required a co-signer, so I couldn't get that one. But this one literally came out of nowhere and I'm paying $1,650,000 for it, which comes out to like $470. And in my opinion, that's worth it for the quality of apartment that I'm gonna get. Honestly, getting my apartment in Manizales was pretty easy. So if you're looking for a real estate company to work with in Manizales, I'll leave the phone number of my agent and the company in the description as well. 1, they're very nice people, and 2, it was just the simplest hassle. It was a lot simpler than here as well. Anyways, if you guys have any more questions or if you want to set up a consultation, shoot me a message on Instagram or shoot me an email on the email that I have on my YouTube About page. And yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Thanks for watching. Peace.